Everything around you is signaling that your solitude will soon be challenged in the most beautiful way. Your spirit senses an unfamiliar warmth, hinting that a destiny-shifting presence is about to enter your life. All the pain, isolation, and lingering doubt you've endured is on the verge of being answered by a person who embodies precisely what your watchers believe you need at this stage. Before we dive into how this unfolds, devote at least 12 minutes to confirm your truth. Truly receptive? Then like this, subscribe and comment 77 to signal to the universe that you're open. Afterward, leave one more comment, ready for what's next, in your own words, and activate the blessings meant to flood into your life. Chapter 1. You grasp the repetitive emptiness in your heart. Those endless days of feeling misunderstood, or even outright invisible, created a private ache you rarely shared. You rose each morning, fulfilling responsibilities and being strong for everyone else, yet returning to an invisible void at day's end. Maybe you told yourself you were okay flying solo, or that your watchers assigned you a path of solitary resilience. Still, the quiet hours expose the longing you tried ignoring, an unspoken desire for companionship that truly sees you. Sometimes illusions tried convincing you your destiny involved traveling alone forever. Yet in fleeting moments, you questioned if there was some unstoppable wave that might bring an unexpected partner, whether romantic or otherwise, who could stand beside you in mission and in spirit. This tension built a habit of self-reliance. You rarely opened up about your personal struggles, partly from pride, partly from fear that others would dismiss your deeper yearnings. You battled delusions that said you were better off never risking heartbreak again. Illusions that whispered your watchers only planned for you to manage life solo. Despite that, subtle signs kept appearing. Random references to soul-level connections, dreams about encountering someone with an aura that matched your spiritual blueprint. You'd wake from those dreams with your heart throbbing, but illusions made you dismiss them. It's just my imagination, you reasoned. No one could mirror my calling so closely. But illusions are illusions for a reason. Behind the scenes, your watchers were orchestrating a cosmic puzzle, testing your readiness by seeing if you truly integrated the lessons of heartbreak, rejection, or betrayal. Each time you overcame illusions that demanded you remain closed off, you demonstrated your capacity to hold real, honest connection. Whether that meant reconciling old heartbreak or releasing bitterness towards someone who misunderstood you. You chipped away at the walls around your heart. By now, your watchers see that you've reached a critical threshold, an openness masked by your fierce independence, but recognized by the cosmic realm. Inside, your heart started noticing subtle excitements again. Maybe a new project or spiritual insight triggered a sense that you preferred to share this magic with a partner. These quiet sighs of longing signaled your watchers that illusions about being forever alone no longer clung so tightly to your psyche. Freed from illusions that your safe were walled off, you began exuding an aura of invitation, even if subconsciously. The watchers responded by orchestrating not just an opportunity, but a person who matches your unique vibration. Now you find yourself questioning odd coincidences, like encountering repeated references to random faraway places or stumbling upon storylines about life-changing connections. Deep inside, you sense an unstoppable wave building. That wave, fueled by the watcher's design, is about to cross your path with someone special who resonates with your soul. This stirring extends beyond fleeting romance. It's a synergy that can catapult both your missions to new heights. You braced for solitude so long that letting someone in may feel risky. Yet illusions that heartbreak is inevitable now fail to captivate you the way they once did. You stand at the cusp of a cosmic nudge that promises the kind of bond you once believed unattainable. The watchers confirm your readiness, and the unstoppable wave of combined destinies is set to wash over you in ways illusions can no longer obstruct. Chapter 2. You filtered out the noise, finally hearing what your heart knew. Amid daily obligations and external chatter, your true desires drowned under a sea of conflicting opinions. Maybe relatives insisted that your path should reflect conventional norms, or friends teased you for maintaining such intense spiritual inclinations. You might have tried dating half-heartedly, letting illusions push you into forced connections that never resonated with your watchers. Whisper, Each heartbreak or draining relationship taught you new facets of clarity, but illusions often exploited your loneliness. They suggested you settle for whatever snippet of companionship came your way, overshadowing your watcher's persistent guidance that you were meant for a higher synergy. Then, in the hush of some evening, you recognized you were done with half measures. You'd endured enough entanglements that served only to highlight incompatibilities. The watchers watched you accumulate heartbreaks with minimal bitterness, just enough sorrow to remind you not to repeat the same illusions. At some point, you either swore off dating or decided you'd only invest if you truly felt divine confirmation. That vow forced illusions to recede because illusions feed on your willingness to compromise your convictions. Once you declared you wouldn't compromise, illusions lost their main foothold. Without illusions shouting about time's running out or better take what you can get, you found yourself finally able to hear your watchers clearly. A single insight emerged. Tolstoy, the partner meant for you would require zero forced contortions of your authenticity. They come with a mission that complements yours, upholding your spiritual truths. The watchers strengthened that voice within, highlighting fleeting signs, a random conversation about purposeful relationships, or a spontaneous reading that spelled out synergy. You realized how precious your unique path is and how only the right energy can walk it with you. Perhaps you also began noticing how illusions love stirring panic about your age or your circumstances. No one with your background can find a fulfilling connection, illusions hissed. But each time you recognize that statement as false, illusions chipped away further. Freed from illusions of unworthiness, you opened a quiet space to let the watcher's messages ring out. You discovered your watcher's affirmation. No, you don't have to fix yourself into a lesser shape to be loved. The synergy is real and it's unstoppable. Once your heart was open, the watchers eventually tested your sincerity. Maybe an old flame or a fling reappeared, offering comfort, but no real spiritual growth. You faced a dilemma: revert to illusions or stand in trust for something better. The watchers exhaled relief when you chose the latter, letting that old pattern die. That decision, though possibly lonely in the moment, was your green light to the watchers that your authenticity trumped illusions. They took note, finalizing that you were prepared for the unstoppable wave of synergy with the right soul. So you discovered the difference between being alone out of fear and being alone out of conviction. Soon after, you felt illusions quiet down, replaced by the watcher's nudge of an imminent meeting that would shift everything. Freed from illusions, you recognized that you could now hear the watcher's subtle instructions. Wait for the sign. Remain open. Trust the synergy. That's how you navigated out of the noise, forging a space where your watchers could place someone whose entire essence speaks to your soul. Now, illusions can't force you to settle. Instead, you're poised to accept a partnership so profoundly aligned that any lesser connection pales in comparison. Chapter 3. You embrace vulnerability as a hidden strength. One of the Watcher's most crucial lessons involves turning your guarded heart into a channel for deeper connection. Past wounds had taught you to shield your emotions, wearing independence like armor. But illusions insisted vulnerability was a weakness, that letting someone see you in your raw state spelled guaranteed heartbreak. Secretly, you yearned for a bond built on honesty, but illusions coaxed you into minimal exposure of your true feelings. The Watchers, however, allowed certain heartbreak cycles to intensify until you realized that superficial interactions offered no real solace. You either risked authentic closeness or lingered behind illusions that insisted emotional self-protection was safer. Gradually, you dismantled delusions about vulnerability being your downfall. You recognized that repeated heartbreak had one constant factor: connections lacking genuine transparency. Realizing you had nothing to lose, you started letting people in just a bit more. You might have confessed your spiritual convictions or revealed a past trauma to someone worthy of your trust. Each time illusions tried to shriek, "This is too risky," you noticed a deeper sense of relief when you shared wholeheartedly. Some potential connections might have fizzled upon discovering your spiritual depth, but that only clarified who was unfit for your path. Freed from illusions, you saw vulnerability not as a gamble, but as a filter that wards off unaligned energies. The Watchers watched each breakthrough, noting how your open heart no longer invited exploitation, but demanded mutual respect. Indeed, illusions about being vulnerable equals being used collapsed when you recognize that your watchers had sharpened your discernment. Now, if a person intended to manipulate your openness, your intuition flared up instantly, letting you disengage without the heartbreak illusions once predicted. That synergy of open-heartedness and refined discernment told the watchers you were ready for the unstoppable wave of synergy. A genuine connection thrives on shared vulnerability, and your watchers needed to see you could handle that level of emotional depth. Sometimes illusions reappeared in the form of discouragement. Maybe a friend or relative scolded you for being too candid or oversharing, but you recognized their caution stemmed from illusions of fear. You politely listened, but your watchers had shown you that when guided by them, your vulnerability becomes a strength, not a liability. It's precisely that unguarded authenticity that draws in the right soul. A potential partner or collaborator sees your unfeigned honesty and knows this is no ordinary dynamic. So you practice microdoses of vulnerability. For instance, you might have told a coworker or acquaintance about a personal dream you once kept secret. If illusions hissed about judgment, you let them pass. Each time you revealed a piece of your heart, you felt illusions losing their power, and each time the watchers gave your spirit a subtle applause, confirming that you were forging the emotional readiness to sustain a powerful, intimate bond. Now, illusions that once cowed you into half-living are silent. By embracing vulnerability, you ascend to a vantage where illusions have no place. That vantage is precisely what readies you for tomorrow's unstoppable wave, someone special whose presence demands emotional transparency. Freed from illusions that your heart must remain locked, you can welcome this synergy with the full measure of your depth. The watchers see it as your final demonstration that illusions can't keep you closed or numb. Indeed, you stand on the threshold of a meeting that thrives on open hearts, a bond that illusions can never sabotage because your watchers shaped it to flourish in your new mastery of vulnerability. Chapter 4. You stabilize your mission for a joint path. While illusions attacked your self-esteem and tried to keep you from deeper connection, you also encountered trials around your life's mission. Perhaps you serve in a creative field, lead a spiritual community, or wield a hidden talent for healing. Whatever your calling, delusions press the idea that no partner could ever align with it. You might have believed partnership would dilute or distract you from your watcher's directives. Yet the watchers patiently revealed the deeper truth. The right synergy can amplify, not derail your mission. Sometimes delusion claimed you'd have to choose between love and purpose. Perhaps you had a partner who undermined your devotion to spiritual discipline or creative pursuits, lending credibility to illusions that relationships sabotage your calling. But each heartbreak sharpened your boundaries, clarifying that the watchers never intended you to shrink your mission for another. True synergy walks alongside you without overshadowing your gifts. Freed from illusions, you saw the watcher's twofold aim, for you to fulfill your purpose while enjoying a supportive bond that propels growth. So you stabilized your mission in solitude, ensuring illusions couldn't seduce you into seeking a partner for mere validation. Maybe you launched a project, completed a significant creative milestone, or stepped into boldest spiritual leadership. This was crucial because illusions thrive on incomplete missions, arguing you need someone to fix your path. By tackling key aspects of your mission alone, you proved the watchers remain your primary allies. As illusions withdrew, you realized that any future connection should respect, and even fuel, your purpose rather than drain it. In this silent progress, the watchers observed, you toppled illusions of codependency and abandoned the myth that someone else must rescue your calling. Now the watchers see your mission standing strong enough to embrace synergy with another soul. Freed from illusions, you understand genuine partnership can expand your watcher's plan instead of derailing it. With no illusions blocking you, the watchers orchestrate a cosmic sequence to bring forth that synergy. You discovered that love can fuel your mission with unstoppable creativity or healing. If illusions persisted, synergy could collapse under fear or jealousy, but you overcame them, stabilizing your mission to a point where you can share it without forfeiting your identity. The Watchers deem you ready for a partnership that melts two paths into a combined wave, unstoppable against illusions or external barriers. Their ultimate goal is to double your mission's impact. As tomorrow's cosmic shift nears, illusions can no longer tempt you to abandon your purpose for a new relationship. Instead, you stand firmly in alignment, mission aflame, heart open, mind steady. Should a fellow bright soul now merge paths with you, illusions won't tear it apart, for your Watcher's blueprint is unstoppable. This balance of self-sufficiency and openness to synergy is the launchpad for the unstoppable wave, poised to unite your gifts with another's in grand fashion. Chapter 5. You mastered the art of discerning genuine connections among the illusions you faced. The Watchers wanted you adept at spotting truth amid deceit. Perhaps you once mistook charm for sincerity or entrusted someone who preyed on your vulnerabilities. As illusions reeled you into tricky situations, heartbreak and betrayal honed your ability to sniff out ulterior motives. The Watchers let pain refine your intuition, ensuring you wouldn't latch onto false synergy just when true alignment was approaching. Step by step, you learned the hallmarks of authentic souls. They never played hot and cold or demanded you dim your gifts. Instead, they harmonized with your Watcher's energy, urging your spiritual and creative growth. Meanwhile, illusions used flattery to disguise hidden agendas, leading to drama and intrusive demands. Each test exposed the holes, reinforcing that real synergy feels steady and expansive, not manipulative. In a final exam, illusions might have dangled a charismatic figure before you, someone who promised instant gratification, yet radiated subtle warnings. Once, you might have overlooked these signals. Now discernment steered you to quietly disengage, proving you could no longer be lured. Freed from illusions, you became a fortress of clarity. To the Watchers, this signaled you were ready for unstoppable synergy. They trust you to embrace the true arrival without illusions derailing it. Real alignment, you discovered, is equal parts comforting and challenging, never fleeting or coercive. Whenever a false contender appears, your gut senses the mismatch. Repeated confirmations like synchronicities or dream moments back up your intuitive yes or no. Time and again you follow these cues, chipping away at illusion's power. Confusion or second-guessing can't take hold now. You trust the Watcher's signals too deeply. With illusions unable to fool you anymore, the Watchers can bring in the genuine match. They'll arrange a scenario where someone enters your life radiating an undeniable resonance. You will feel the Watcher's quiet affirmation, a sense of certainty running through you. Freed from illusions, you welcome them calmly yet discerningly, confirming they mirror the Watcher's guidance. This paves the way for unstoppable synergy. Neither a tumultuous fling nor a forced partnership, but a bond so pure that illusions dissolve on contact. Your Watchers can now deliver this connection in good faith. They see your unwavering gaze, unafraid to wield your sharpened intuition. Gone are fears of being duped or missing out. You stand vigilant, yet unburdened. Illusions shattered, Watchers approving, synergy inbound. Having mastered discernment, you are fully primed for tomorrow's cosmic shift. Prepare to meet someone special who resonates with your unwavering truth. Chapter 6. You broke the spell of scarcity. For a time, illusions convinced you good partners were scarce. You might have clung to anyone half-promising, ignoring red flags out of fear. That a chosen one's path is inherently lonely by design. The Watchers arranged repeated shortfalls, brief connections that fizzled or suitors who vanished, until you realized scarcity itself was the illusion. In truth, the Watchers operate within a vast cosmic field where any number of souls can be guided your way. Delusions tested you through long stretches with no viable prospects or disappointments that insisted, "This is all you'll ever find." Each heartbreak, however, stirred a subtle nudge from your Watchers. Don't cling in desperation. Trust the universe's infinite resources. Over time, a pattern emerged. Whenever illusions urged you to grab what seemed like your last chance, releasing it led to broader horizons. Thus, you recalibrated your faith and saw scarcity dissolve in the face of the Watcher's boundless orchestration. Ultimately, you crossed a key threshold. You calmly walked away from someone who wasn't aligned, preferring solitude to the false security of settling. This pivotal act showed the watchers you wouldn't jeopardize the unstoppable wave by grasping fear-based attachments. Freed from illusions of scarcity, you signaled readiness for a synergy that might even require relocation or long-distance connection. The watchers noted your willingness to look beyond your immediate setting. Naturally, illusions tried to resurface fear. What if I let go and nothing better appears? But each time you recalled how the watchers consistently unveiled perfect solutions at the last moment. Scarcity gave way to expectancy, grounded in faith that the watchers hold a broader view. If illusions pressed about time or limited opportunities, you shut them off, trusting in the watcher's unimpeachable track record. Having mastered these tests, you're now psychically primed for a next-level synergy, no longer desperate, but steady and open. That's the ideal backdrop for unstoppable blessings. Where illusions once beat you with urgency, you trust the watcher's perfect timing. So as tomorrow's cosmic shift arises, any whisper of not enough won't overshadow the watcher's plan. You believe in an infinitely resourced universe, certain your watchers know exactly how to bring this special connection into your sphere. No local shortage or failing environment can interfere with their carefully orchestrated synergy. Freed from scarcity, you stand prepared for the unstoppable wave of abundance they've been arranging all along. Chapter 7. You step into tomorrow expecting a miraculous intersection. The watchers have tallied every test, illusions about worthlessness, betrayal, timing, and scarcity, and you've conquered them all. Their verdict: you're ready for a swift cosmic introduction, a synergy aligned with the mission they entrusted to you. Freed from illusions, you can discern genuine resonance, remain vulnerable without sabotage, and share your fortified gifts. Tomorrow's shift unleashes the unstoppable wave that unites you with a special soul, reflecting your watcher's blueprint. You may feel excitement tinged with calm, for illusions can no longer twist anticipation into desperation or suspicion. The watchers have orchestrated this precise moment, confident you're unstoppable, because illusions can't hold you hostage. A synergy that once seemed improbable is now not merely possible, but imminent. It could spring from a random social invitation or a project pairing you with an unexpected collaborator. Rather than naive euphoria or jaded caution, you approach this meeting with balanced clarity, trusting your watcher's alignment over illusions' whispers of doubt. As dawn heralds this cosmic pivot, illusions about your unreadiness fade. You carry enough spiritual capital to invest in real partnership. The watchers rejoice at your trust, shaped through solitary stretches so illusions wouldn't sabotage this wave. Now a special presence appears, someone who can elevate your gifts or co-labor in your mission. Freed from illusions, you see how each dark night prepared you for this near-complete tapestry. Step forward with open eyes. The watchers might give subtle clues, a flash of intuitive certainty, repeated names, or an unshakable sense that something's imminent. Embrace it all. This synergy is unstoppable because illusions no longer have a foothold, and the watchers remain committed to seeing you flourish in a shared calling. Once, illusions told you love or powerful alliance was unsafe or impossible, but the watchers rule cosmic connections. Freed from illusions, you enter tomorrow expecting a miraculous intersection that local rivalries or past failures can't derail. It's a wave, unstoppable. Embrace it fully, recalling how heartbreak and solitude molded you for this. Yes, illusions insisted you must stand alone in darkness, but you overcame them to become chosen for a bond they can't fathom. Tomorrow is the day that unstoppable synergy arrives, something the watchers have been orchestrating ever since you first defied illusions about your worth and your capacity to love.